Well, yo, championship week, boys and girls, ladies and gents, hammers and bagalas, Dynasty Life crew and fam.
Back to back
Where
championships on
where are
the
y'all at?
line. Hell yeah, bro. I love it. I
You
absolutely
know,
love it.
let us know where y'all at. Are you in the ship? Did you make it because of us, or did you not make it because of us?
Yeah, if you took advice from Blanc and he told you not to play Leonard Fournette, you might be in some trouble. But other
I
than
never
that, you're
said
probably in
not
good
to play.
shape.
I never said not to play Lenny Fournette. But it depended on the situation of who you had, of course, in that time. But uh, anyway, a lot happened. A lot didn't happen.
Facts.
Let's see, a few major things. Obviously, the Broncos coach Nathaniel
Nate, Nate,
finally gets
Nate,
fired.
Nate Hackett, gone.
Finally gets fired. Should have been even way earlier in the season. You could even tell just from even when Javante was still healthy, just the play calling, just everything was just horrible about Hackett. But he had to go. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I was having a conversation. I don't remember if it was with Bagala or somebody else, and I was talking to him, and I was like, "Man, it seems like so long ago, but when we first watched that game against Seattle, remember that opening game Denver had against Seattle, and we're like, yeah, Denver's gonna take this, no problem." And then Denver lost, and then people's eyes started opening, and you started noticing it week after week, and you're like, damn, they're gonna get it together, they're gonna get it together, and then probably by like week 7 or week 8, we were just like, yeah, they stink, and it's just been pretty much downhill from there. And I think I think if they had a younger team and a younger quarterback, Hackett would still have his job. But the fact that it's Russell Wilson and it's a pretty veteran team for the most part, that's why he got canned, because they're basically in win now mode. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is. I maybe expected them to fire him after the season, but it doesn't surprise me because they're just putrid.
Dylan, what up, Dylan? Signal keeps cutting in and out. Why the hell does it keep cutting in and out?
I mean, I can hear you pretty good. Am I breaking up over there, or I'm good?
I mean, I can hear you fine, and everything is fine. It looks like at least my side, but definitely can't restart. That would be fucked. But Dylan,
All
let me
right.
know if that keeps happening or not, or if that's fixed by now. But yeah, I mean, he's got the team now. I don't know.
You can't cut Russell Wilson either in the next 2 years because the dead cap is just so absurd that you can't get rid of Russell Wilson. I saw a graphic today on like NFL Live where it said if you cut Russell Wilson in the next 2 years, you're losing like $150 million in dead cap money. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Super clear now. I don't know what it is. Internet and shit nowadays. But thanks, Dylan. Appreciate you, brother. Dylan, what's good anyway? How you doing? You in the ship or what? What's going on with you? Let us know how you've done this season.
I actually had two cracks at the ship. I had a crack at the ship in my league, and Jalen Waddle just slammed the door on me on Sunday. And I was down 45, and I had Justin Herbert, Michael Pittman, and McLaughlin, the kicker from Indy, and I got like 15 points from those three guys, and I just got wiped out. But in Dynasty, I made it to the ship, so any championship round you make in any league in any season is always something to be definitely excited over. So I'll take one. I
Yeah,
would have liked both, but I'll take one for sure.
yeah. Pittman did me in one league. I needed like 11 points from him. That ain't happened. And then I was going against Pittman in one league, and I actually was able to get to the ship in that league. Luckily, Dylan said, "Yeah, man, been at work forever, but I'm in the finals and in my heavy buy-in league. Awesome, bro. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Hopefully you don't got Derrick Henry. I don't know if he's going to be playing this week, but yeah,
Yeah,
good luck
that would be a
in the
major
ship
blow
there.
for
And
sure.
do you have any decisions that you've got to make here, brother? Do you got any? Is everybody healthy, or do you got some considerations in the flex? Or let us know. Let us know what you got, or if you're all set there. You think you're taking it home or what? But get back to Tua. He needs a RB. Okay. What's your choices, man? Let's see if maybe we can get some insight on that. But yeah, Tua back in concussion protocol. They didn't even take him out of the game on the hit that had happened, which is kind of weird, and another blown fucking thing. But they showed like his stats after that happened, and he threw 3 intos after that. Like it was bad.
I'll take it because I'm a Packers guy, and now we actually got a shot at the playoffs. So I was sitting there losing my mind watching it. But yeah, that was a. It just, you know what? Now that because I didn't notice anything in game, they didn't point to anything, they didn't say anything. There was nothing, that was highlighted. So I'm just sitting there. We're going into the fourth quarter, and we actually got a shot, and he throws 3 straight interceptions. And the stark difference between the first half and that fourth quarter is just like what? Like the Packers were getting carved up in that first half, like absolutely demolished. And for them to hang around, and then obviously we know what happened in the fourth quarter was definitely something. Listen, I'll take it. I don't give a shit how it looks, what happened, if he had a concussion, if he didn't, I don't care. I'm a Packers fan, so I'm the beneficiary of that. But it'll be real interesting to see, what the fallout is, if he has a concussion, or if the fact that he's in concussion protocol, he's not playing next week. There's no way.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Maybe for the rest of the season.
They're saying that too, possibly. But what is there to? I mean, if he passes the protocol, I mean, what can you
Yeah,
do at that
but
point?
but but the problem is
We
is
don't have
that
any info.
once you have once you have one concussion or one confirmed concussion, and then you get another one, like the heightened sensitivity towards it for your brain to heal from it, like your brain can't heal from it that quickly from game to game. You know what I mean? Or week to week, whatever the case may be. So I think just from that standpoint alone, they're going to be extra cautious. Number one, we already know what the NFL has with concussions, all that stuff. And then obviously we have the visual from him early this season when he had a concussion and exactly what happened. So I think they're going to be extra cautious. Even if he passes concussion protocol, the Dolphins can still, as an organization, hold him out just to kind of save face and maybe, you know, um, save face in the court of public opinion, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, it's a rough situation, but Dylan said, I can't believe he's in the finals with Patterson and Foreman. Foreman went off. I needed that last week, not this week.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Taylor being out is killing him. Picked up Edwards, but looking into Tennessee's backup. Um, yeah, I don't know if I love that. I mean, there's got to be someone else. What about Algier? Algier's not out there. Does somebody have Algier?
I do. He's been awesome the last two
You know,
weeks.
since you do have Patterson, what other options are out there other than Edwards?
Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, anything. Hurts being injured is rough. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Did you have
Uh,
Hurts? Did you have Hurts too? I'm guessing, or nah? I mean, Minshew did his thing though.
Minshew. If Hertz was out and you played Minshew, you didn't miss a beat production wise.
Yeah, he's been picked up. I got a 14. I love 14 teams, but who else is even out there? And I'm just seeing what running backs.
In our league, in our dynasty, there's nothing. Literally
No, I
nothing.
know. I'm just looking through. If he's in a 14 team league, it could be. relatively similar. There might be more guys that he has available just because it might not be as big of a roster. What about the? I don't know. What about the Houston guy, Ogunbowale? I mean, with no Pierce, I mean him, Burkhead, CEH is available. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not playing CEH. Definitely don't do that. First game back, you got Pacheco and McKinnon rolling. Yeah, we're not doing that.
Kenneth Gainwell,
It's
deeper
got to be.
league. I don't know. And if it's a PPR, you might get some value with Gainwell.
Is that the only two options that you have on your team, Patterson and Foreman? There's nobody else that you have other than Edwards, and I know you said you're looking at Tennessee backup, but one is available. I mean, he hasn't done jack, so not saying he's a great play, but I don't know who else would even be out there. I mean, he's gonna get some rushing work, but
Looks like Joshua Kelly is available.
Royce
Royce
Freeman is
Freeman.
the.
He got 16 carries last week.
Oh,
11 the
Royce.
week before. Yeah. So that's
I'm not sure if Reese is out there. Is Reese out there? At least he's getting some touches. I mean, I've been playing well. They're playing Jacksonville. He hasn't really been scoring, but he's getting opportunities. So David Johnson, doo doo.
no, don't do that. Yeah, that's tough sledding. That's really tough sledding, especially at this particular point in the season. There's gonna be nothing
Yeah,
available.
just find like who has like the best matchup or who might have the most chances at getting touches, really. And if you want to throw more names out there that's on your waiver wire, go ahead and do that. See if anything strikes a nerve. You got Murray set to get his ACL surgery coming up here on the 3rd. Hopefully he can get back. They said 9 months. I mean, that'll be
That's the short end.
October. So the
Yeah.
season's going to be underway at that point. They're going to have to figure something out going in. Dylan says, I think I'm about to be assaulted this week. He got Burrow, Eckler, Moss, Hill, Brown, Johnson at tight end, Metcalf, Tucker. I mean, the one thing about fantasy, especially when you play
Anything can happen.
year after year, all the time and in multiple leagues, like so many things can happen. We've seen crazy things every year. Sometimes guys just don't produce. Sometimes guys do. Sometimes guys that have no business producing produce. That's just how it is, bro.
100%.
God, Moss Hill, Johnson. I mean, who do you got going?
That's the bigger key.
You might get assaulted by that team, but who do you got? Maybe you got some guys that can. I mean, we know the running back room already, but we got Mike White, okay to return, coming back. Zachy Wilson to the bench. Rumor is
No,
they will move on from him after the season. How? I don't know. They can't really. I guess you can just cut him, but then you're eating that money. I don't know who would take him on trade. You spent the first round pick. I mean, what is somebody going to give you?
6th round pick,
I
if
guess you
that.
got to cut your losses.
If that. And I think at this point, if it's out there that he's, if it's out there that they're moving on from him, why would anybody trade?
Exactly. I mean, the main thing is he probably should have never been first round pick. If we're completely honest, uh, he was okay in college, but he didn't play great competition. And when he did, he didn't play good. He made one good throw at the combine. and nobody had him that high on the draft boards except for Jets.
See,
So
my biggest problem is, especially now, like I always looked at it like, well, maybe the Jets didn't surround him with good talent, whatever, blah blah blah. Especially last year, and then you look at this year, they have a good team, and you see when any other quarterback is operating that team, they're actually competent. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest indicator, and that's the biggest, knock on Zach Wilson is you watch these other quarterbacks come in. Even the guy Strevy last week came in and moved the
mhm,
ball right away. Like, wasn't even an issue. I
yeah,
know he's a different type of quarterback, but that's just the biggest indictment when a guy nobody's ever heard of comes in and just looks infinitely better than you, and you were a first round pick. Your days are probably numbered.
I mean they got the guys around them, like you said. Everybody else is able to do something except
Right.
for him.
The guy they need
Now,
to do something.
granted, they don't have Brees Hall or the running game, but still, I mean,
Listen,
you gotta be able to do something.
listen. They still, even without Brees Hall, they still have a very competent roster, and they were in a playoff spot for quite some time up into this last,
Mm.
little slide they had. So I don't even think you could really point to that.
What do you do then? Even I mean, what do they do next year? Should they just go out and get decent quarterback, a Jimmy G or something like that, and then still draft a quarterback or try and find the future quarterback, but at the same time try and at least win for right now, or do you just shut it all down, have a shit year next year, get a top pick, and grab a QB
See, but
right next year?
I think
You
the
know,
issue is even I think the issue is that now going into this offseason into next year, they already have a roster that's ready to win, as evidenced by
saying,
how they played. You know what I'm saying? So I think their best option is to go out, sign Jimmy G to like a 2-year contract, and then or 3-year deal, and then draft a guy to sit behind him for 2 years. Like that seems like the best
mhm.
option at this particular point because you have a good team, and Jimmy Garoppolo's taken a team with a running back and a defense or a good run game and a defense to a Super Bowl. So why can't he do that for the Jets theoretically?
Yeah, that is true. Dylan said he's got Hurts, Foreman, Patterson, Lockett. They said Lockett might play. Kittle, Thielen, and possibly McPherson.
Well, Keenan was good. Keenan Allen was really good.
Yeah, Keenan is
So it looks
good. You
like
got
he's back to being
Kittle, not
Kittle.
worried there.
Kittle's been off the charts with Brock Purdy these last couple of weeks. It's
Hmm.
been phenomenal.
The Panthers are rolling with Foreman and fucking Baker.
Chuba,
Winning
Chuba's a
things.
Chuba's a good option.
Chuba, Chuba did a little something
Look,
as well.
looks like they're using both of those
Is
guys.
Chuba out there? Can you play both of them maybe?
Chuba would be a good, at least a desperation option. At least you're going to get some production out of there.
And I'm guessing since you don't have Hurts, who would you play instead of Hurts last week? Pick up Minshew.
I would imagine Minshew. That has
Hubbard is picked up.
damn.
Yeah. Let us know if there's any RBs out there maybe you can pick up. Looks like Tannehill's not going to play for the rest of the season.
That doesn't surprise me.
Unlikely to return for the playoffs if they were to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that genuinely doesn't surprise me.
Jones, okay, he went off. Who's he playing
He
this week?
he played well. Giants this week are playing Colts.
Okay.
We saw what well, the Colts always seem to play respectably. I know they're not very good, but Daniel Jones gives you some rushing upside. It looks like he's playing better, so that's not a terrible option.
Yeah. You got Malik Willis, who will, I guess, finish out these last two games. And this is kind of it for Malik Willis, being that he wasn't like a high draft pick. Like, this is the chance that they're going to give him right here. And if he does not perform, I think he's done. you think about Malik?
It's really hard to evaluate him, especially if Derrick Henry doesn't play. You know what I mean? I don't think it would be fair to, judge him if Henry doesn't play. But yeah, I think it's an opportunity. Listen, I think I wouldn't say he's done per se because it's only his first year, but I do think he has to just show that he's competent. I don't think he necessarily has to win a bunch of games. He just has to keep them competitive, let the defense, don't turn it over. I think that's one of the critical things, especially with these young guys in an opportunity like this. Just don't turn it over. You should be all right.
It's gonna be rough. I mean, no Derrick Henry, but yeah, I mean, the reason why I say he's done is because they didn't really spend much. I mean, he was a third round pick, so they didn't really think he was first or second round worthy. And if he doesn't do good these games, then they're like going to be okay. We're not. They're not going to wait on a guy like that. They didn't. You don't draft a guy in the third round and wait years for him to develop. Like that's not what you
No,
do.
no. I would tend to agree with that, but I think that they would obviously he'll be in the training camp and another year working out, working with the guys, being in training camp, being in OTAs, going through that whole offseason process. They'll be able to better evaluate him in that kind of scenario than running him out there for 2 games, possibly without their best player and saying, all right, go win us some games. You know what I mean? So I don't think, like I said, I don't think if he doesn't win, or even if he doesn't play particularly well, that he's done. I think they'll give him an opportunity in training camp, and then they'll be able to better evaluate what he is or what he's not, for that matter.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely give him an opportunity in training camp, but I don't think he beats a decent quarterback out. Almost, it's gonna be rough. That's gonna be the other problem. Dylan said Minshew is available. Purdy, Huntley. Yeah, I mean, if you got Minshew and Purdy available,
He's got Daniel Jones, which I don't mind
who's
that
Minshew
play.
and Purdy playing this week? Who's got
Minshew's
who's
playing home against the Saints, and Purdy is on the road versus the Raiders.
I think I like that.
I think I like the Daniel Jones option.
Two touchdowns. Two. Daniel Jones versus the Colts.
I think I like that option. I really do.
I mean, he didn't even kill it last game. That's what
Oh,
extra Daniel Jones, and that's what extra points we get for 300 yards and shit.
I mean, 300 yards is 300 yards. Like, that's pretty good. We don't
Oh,
expect
I know.
Daniel
What I'm
Jones.
saying is he only basically put up 20 points and or even less if it's 4 point touchdown. Um,
He was better than Purdy though. No, I think Purdy's really good. Well,
I
Purdy
mean,
had the he had a really good game.
Purdy's thrown 2 touchdowns in every game that he's played. Is
That's
that
pretty good.
crazy?
That's pretty good. And the Raiders, I mean, they have a decent defensive line, but they can be had.
Yeah, that's
So
gonna be.
yeah,
Who'd you say Minshew's got?
Minshew's home against the Saints if he plays.
Yeah, if Hurts doesn't play, I think I like Purdy, but they're all around like the same. There's not one that's gonna give you way more than the other. They're pretty much capped. You know what I mean? Is there one that you really prefer over the other?
No, I mean, I think the Purdy thing is interesting. Like you said, he's been really good, and I do like Daniel Jones's rushing upside. So it's between Jones and Purdy, I guess.
Yeah, this is true. All right. And then of course we said we got Lockett, who possibly be
But I
turning this
think
week.
I think you have to go into it assuming he's not playing, and then if he does play, now you're golden. Always have that. Always have that. Procedure went perfect. Possible. Could
Who are they
potentially
playing this week?
Jets.
Yeah, that's not the greatest matchups either.
No, it's not. But not a
He's
terror.
still
Not
doing his thing.
yeah. He's still a
Yeah,
really good option if he's available. He's probably better than 2/3 of what you got
yeah, that's true.
production wise.
That is true. All right, let's get into some of the games that happened over the weekend here, and any waiver wire pickups maybe. Bills and the Bears. Bills just pretty much what we thought was going to happen.
Yep.
Um, James Cook. Hey Dylan, is James Cook out there?
Mm,
I
that's
know it's a
actually really
14 team, so he's probably not. He's probably not, but
that's a really good point. He's been amazing.
just asking. Peoples Jones on the bench for Lockett if he can't play. All right, there you go. That ready. But yeah, Cook 11 for 99, Singletary 12 for 106. I mean, they just field day
Ran
really.
the
Everything was
bastard.
really on the ground. Really not much in the passing game. 172. We did throw the 2 touchdowns, but Diggs 2 for 26.
Yeah, Bagala was losing his mind in Dynasty about Diggs, and it's been a little bit of a trend over the last couple of weeks, especially if you're in the playoffs and you're counting on a guy like Diggs, which you should be counting on him. He's kind of let you down from what you expect. So Diggs has been a little bit disappointing. Gabe Davis, the boomer bust. If you had to play Gabe Davis and he went boom, 45 yards, but he got the touchdown for you. So Gabe Davis paid dividends if you kind of stuck with him. So that was interesting. But like I said, I think the bigger thing is obviously the running game with Singletary and Cook, and then Josh Allen is turning the ball over at an alarming rate the last month and a half. So not to say don't play him, because of course you're going to play Josh Allen, but he's not giving you those superhero performances like he was early in the season.
Yeah.
Um, Dawson Knox has come alive. So if you're thin at tight end, keep an eye on Dawson Knox. Not the greatest play in terms of consistency, but the arrow's definitely pointing up for him. He's got 3 straight games with a touchdown. And he's got, what has he got? 20 targets in 3 games. So for him, that'll work. So keep your eye on Dawson Knox if you're thin at tight end.
Yeah, definitely. What else happened in this game? Monty 16 for 62, 4 for 22 through the air. Did I guess pretty much everything for that team. I mean, Justin Fields didn't do nothing on the ground.
No.
119 through the air. I mean, Cole Kmet 5 for 27.
Yeah, which,
I
that
guess
doesn't.
tight end premium, you'll take it, but otherwise, yeah, got some receptions though. But yeah, I mean, out of this game, Cook available. That's really it. And you, like you mentioned before, Dawson Knox. Saints at Browns. Saints pulled this one out by 7. We can
Yeah,
buy it.
it was an ugly game, and just to preface, the weather was absolutely horrid over Friday, Saturday, Sunday, over the weekend. So obviously you're going to see games that weren't exactly high scoring, crazy games. But yeah, this particular game, not a whole lot. Kamara, if you rolled with Kamara, you got some good work out of him. Obviously, Andy Dalton only threw 15 times for 92 yards, so not a whole lot out of there. Jawan Johnson kind of let
Bad.
me down. What happened?
I said, yeah, bad. 92 yards. I mean,
Yeah, Jawan Johnson was pretty bad.
yeah,
But
Jawan Johnson was bad. I think we had you love Jawan Johnson this week, and he's
I
been
did,
solid. You can't not, but
and I just think
shit
the
happened.
weather was a big factor. You know what I mean? So I still like Jawan Johnson going forward. Uh,
He's
especially
though
yeah, Shahid's been pretty good. I
4
do
for
like Shahid.
41. You can go
Yeah,
out and get, especially with Olave not there. I mean, nothing much is happening for that offense in total, but of course, it was a good day to play Kamara, so I hope y'all played Kamara and scored the touchdown. It
yeah,
was
for
really the
Cle-
only offense they had.
yeah, for Cleveland, it was pretty much the Nick Chubb show with 24 carries, 92 yards, added another catch for 10, but overall just a rough performance. Deshaun Watson did get the rushing touchdown, but other than that, not a lot of production from him. Amari Cooper, solid, 6 for 72 on 10 targets. So I think you feel a lot more comfortable rolling with him, if you did make it into the championship round. But Njoku, nothing. 2 for
Got it.
14 on 5 targets. Yeah, that was pretty bad. So that was a tough game to have any of your guys in outside of Kamara, really.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Taysom was a sneaky tight end play, especially with the weather. Wound up 9 for 56 on a touch.
But it always feels like he just gets in the middle of everything, like
Yeah.
always.
And then, I mean, Watson, another shit game. Obviously, we could say the weather was bad, but he hasn't looked good yet.
And the Saints have a
And
still a fairly good defense.
Nick Chubb, I mean, played well, but hasn't he cooled down since, the early on part of the season,
Hmm.
when, we said, listen, the guy's not going to realistically score 30, 35 touchdowns. Like it's going to, eventually over time slow down. And it did. Where is he at even? Let's see where he's at now.
I think he's third. I believe he's third behind Jacobs and
He
Henry.
is, let's see, in fantasy points, at
Oh,
least in
fantasy
half,
points.
half PPR, he's sixth.
I thought you meant just overall in rushing.
If you're talking about overall rushing yards, yeah, he is third with 1344. So good season, 12 touchdowns, team 16 points per game. Yeah,
You're still gonna play him no matter what. That's the bottom line.
yeah, pretty much. It's hard to not play him because we know at any point in time, he can have one of those monstrous games, and he's the type of guy that has like two, three, four touchdowns in one game, as
Hmm.
we've seen over time. So, but yeah, other than Shaheed, I mean, David Johnson, if you're absolutely desperate,
No, absolutely not.
uh, nobody really on the Browns, but Chiefs and Seahawks. This one was funny. Seahawks came out, the wide receivers at least came out with no shirts on. I don't know if you saw that.
I think I
DK
did.
Metcalf
Yeah.
and Co came out warming up on the field with no shirts and then got their ass handed to them. So that's got to suck. Caddy,
Yeah,
what up, brother? What up, Caddy?
Caddy
What's good, my
always
guy?
always around. I love it.
Finals already. Yeah, what's going on with you, Caddy? I think you got the 2 week,
Two.
right? Championship, if I'm not mistaken. Let us know what's happening for you, Caddy. But yeah, Chiefs came out. Holmes just did Mahomes things. McKinnon himself another
Another
good
touchdown.
day. Touchdown. LC doing his thing. Other than that, not much happening. Tony did wind up with a touchdown, but
Was kind
I
of
don't know.
fluky. Felt fluky.
Yeah, very fluky. I mean, it was just like a gimmick play.
Pacheco dominated the backfield carries, so you kind of have to feel good if you have
Yeah,
him.
I mean, yeah, 14 for 58. 14 for 58. Too bad. But no company just couldn't, and it hasn't Gino cooled down. Right?
Yeah, a little bit. You could say that. I mean, I think he still had an overall good season, but just doesn't feel like they
Still,
have
what,
enough.
seventh in fantasy points? Still top
Yeah,
10, but
still cooled down, like you said.
did. really
Kenneth Walker was really good, over 100.
Yeah. And it did have over 100.
DK 7 for 81, no touchdown, but
Yeah, the second
still
half, they really just did not move the ball.
no.
Second half. DK had like 6 for something in the first half. I think he only had 1 catch in the second half or something like that.
That would have drove
Um,
me nuts.
but yeah, I mean, they just use all the tight ends there. I mean, DJ Dallas 6 catches. It was just a mess. It was just a mess. Well, yeah. In this game, I mean, there's nobody really that you're looking to pick up here. Even Juju is not. He hasn't really been a safe play all year. He went on a little run where he was hot, but
It's the problem is that we talk about this almost on a weekly basis where he has so many guys that he uses. You know, it's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 guys had a target, at least one. And I think 7 guys caught a pass.
MJ, my guy, my booty's burning bad after I ate Chipotle. What do I do? You got to pray, bro. There ain't nothing really you can do at this point.
Take some Pepto.
Down by 62, Caddy. Pretty sure I already lost. I mean, that's
It
tough,
could.
but anything can happen. Why he looked like Mr. Technical Difficult? Do I? I don't know what that looks like, but MJ, as always, appreciate you, bro. AFC playoffs, round 1, number 7, Jets versus number 2. Oh God, you praying the Jets get in here? Really? That's I wouldn't bet on it, but oh, he's got Packers in here.
I'm not fully in and saying the Packers are going to make the playoffs, but they put themselves in a position. That's all I could ask for. We're playing meaningful games in basically January. The way the season started, the first 3 months,
Mm.
I can't be that upset.
All right, bold prediction here from MJ. Packers upset Minnesota and lose in Philly. Cowboys win and beat the Niners in San Fran to go to Philly to lose 27-17 and face the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Joey B, aka Joey Cool, earns first Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the AFC is so tough. Just because you have Mahomes, you got Allen, you got Joe Burr. Don't forget about Herbert. Herbert's in the playoffs now, so he hasn't looked great, but Herbert's in the playoffs, so the AFC is just absolutely loaded. But the Bengals are playing well. They're kicking ass and taking names, and I love it.
Yeah, definitely possible. Definitely possible. Good prediction there, MJ. We'll see if that comes to fruition. Addy said D Hop dropped 1. Yeah, D Hop was bad, man. That was
Yeah, he was.
Garrett
He really
dropped
was.
5. Yeah, it's tough with Zach Wilson. I mean, I told you it's a scary thing. Kicker dropped a 0. Oh man, who'd you play at kicker? Just pick a dome kicker. Just play it safe.
Yeah,
Just take any points that you're definitely gonna get.
take a dome
I mean,
kicker every
listen, I
time.
lost. I lost in one league that I played Tyler Bass. I totally forgot about the defense and the kicker. I had San Fran D, but I totally forgot because in like half of my leagues, there's no defense or kicker. So the leagues that I do, I totally missed over. Anyway, I played Bass. He did have missed field goals, but the opportunities were there. He could have got me the points, but it was just something I totally missed, and I just could have played someone else and played it safe, and it wound up screwing me. Rams put up the second most points on my team. Rams D.
That's when you know it's going tough. When
Watch the
you
NFC finals go Bucks and Packers. Listen, Dylan. The Vikings are going to be there, not the Pack. Okay? The Pack got to get by the 49ers. That's the kryptonite for them. Aaron Rodgers don't want to see that.
listen, we'll take it as it comes, but
Oh,
just
you
get
can
it,
start a
get in the.
franchise. could start a franchise with one of these QBs. Louis Bird, Justin Herbert, T. Law.
Oh, it's Joe Burrow. It's not even close, to be honest with you, because
Yeah. Good.
Joe Burrow went into a situation with a franchise that has been historically terrible. And I know they had the Andy Dalton, AJ Green years where they were pretty decent for a little while, but they never made any noise when it came to the playoffs. This guy, Joe Burrow, is the real deal. And he's taken just a shit franchise when he got there and has absolutely elevated them to places they didn't even think they could go. So it's got to be Joe Burrow. Justin Herbert is tremendous. He's talented, but this feels like there's just a little something missing. I don't know what it is. Maybe his guys haven't been healthy, whatever the case may be. And Trevor Lawrence, I think we're still waiting to see what he is from a consistency standpoint. He's a little too roller coaster for me. So it's got to be Joe Burrow at this point, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Trevor's really not in this conversation.
Not yet.
He's close to being like a top 10 guy, but he can't be more than that, I feel like. You know what I mean? Joe Burrow is top 5. You know, T-Law, I don't think he could ever get to that level. Herbert has the ability to, but like you said, like something is just a little bit missing from Herbert, where Joe Burrow has just kind of
Put it
shown,
all
you know,
together.
what
Yep.
what he can do. He can sling it. So yeah, I'm going with Burr there too. Here's another one: Kyler Murray, Joey B, or T. Law. Again, Joey B,
Joey
Kyler
B.
Murray,
Easy.
not in that conversation for
No.
me either.
I would take T-Law over Kyler Murray, even. Because Kyler Murray
Yeah,
isn't.
close.
Kyler Murray doesn't have the mental stability or the maturity to run my team. I'd rather take Trevor Lawrence over Kyler Murray at this point.
It's true. He is a fucking like a baby.
Right.
I had Nick Folk. Okay, I had Nick Folk. He had no field goals attempts and missed both of his PATs.
Yeah, like you said, another underrated thing, especially at this time of the year, is the weather. So you gotta look at the weather, dude.
Absolutely. Yeah, just pick a game that's the weather's not going to be a factor. Preferably a
Or they're in a
dome.
dome, yeah. Or if they're playing in California or Miami or Tampa or
Yeah,
wherever.
absolutely. Jay said best wide receiver duo in the NFL.
Oh,
Who
it's
you
Chasing
going?
Higgins. It's Chasing Higgins, and I don't think it's particularly close.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I mean, Cheetah and Waddle has got to be
Okay,
particularly close.
that's
AJ and
fair.
Devonta, they're
Nah,
not. They're like a tier lower, but they're respectable. You know. I think if you want to talk about like production, like the best, you have to say Cheetah and Waddle because of what they've done, obviously this season. But
yeah,
like as
production.
far as overall, like yeah, you probably do have to say T Higgins and Chase, but it is very close.
Yeah.
Who y'all?
The Hill
Yeah,
Waddle combo is definitely. I would say this year, just because Chase has been hurt and T Higgins has been a little banged up too. But I take those more long term. But Hill and Waddle have been the most productive duo this season for sure.
yeah. What y'all think? Let us know. Let us know out there. T can't lock it. No, it's not T can't lock it.
No,
Both are
but
respectable, but
respectable, but not on that level.
they're kind of like I say. Would say their DK and Lockett are kind of like in the AJ Brown Devonta, in that AJ Brown Devonta kind of range.
Yeah.
Jason Higgs, Godwin, and Evans. I think Evans
Mm,
declined a little bit, so I'm not. I love Godwin, but yeah, it's real close. You got to say, right now, with the actual production we've seen, like I said, of course, it's got to be Waddle and Hill. Yeah, Dylan said Waddle and Hill too. They said Waddle and Hill. Yeah. Yeah, they are absolutely hard to stop. And they're all kind of different. You've got, Hill and Waddle are kind of those speedy guys and run after catch and throw blow the top off, and then you've got the Chase and Higgins where they're just more big bodied, kind of guys, contested catch, over the
I
top.
think I think the reason why for me it would be Chase and Higgins is because Chase is the take of the top off kind of guy, and Higgins is the possession. They kind of give you a little bit of a different look from each perspective, where Hill and Waddle are very similar.
The other problem is Chase and T just haven't been healthy also.
Yeah,
So
no, I
you kind of have
can't
to,
argue.
yeah, it's almost it's by default for this year at least. We'll see what happens
Can't
next
argue.
year. That should be
Hard to argue with that.
interesting. It's two set RBs. It's two set RBs. Um, it's this has got to be what Pollard and Zeke, right?
Yeah.
Compared to everything else, there's not much. There's not much like crazy 1-2 punches out there right now.
No, the first guy is usually the better guy, and then you could have made a case maybe last year for Dylan and Jones, and I think they're not close to Zeke and Pollard, but they're definitely like a step under. I know Aaron Jones hasn't been. I mean,
Oh,
AJ
he's
Dillon
got here.
hasn't been as good, but I think they're in the conversation. But they're definitely a step under those guys, Zeke and Pollard for sure.
The only best 1-2 that you can say at least this season, producing wise.
Zeke
I
and
mean,
Pollard, yeah.
Jamal Williams and Swift. Swift hasn't really done much this year, so you can't. I mean, in reality, I guess talent wise, but we're not necessarily,
Mm-hmm.
in that. D Hop and Hollywood, no. I mean, they're a good combo, but not up there with those other guys. That's like another kind of tier lower. Are Akers versus Slay or Garrett versus Seattle? Um,
Well, it looks like Mike White is going to play, so I think it might be Garrett. No, Akers went crazy, but you don't want to chase the points.
yeah, well, that's the other thing. It's got to be the positive game script for them. And
And I
Mike
could
with
see them.
Mike White, Garrett's been going off, so I
I
think I
think I'm
might
leaning
do.
Garrett.
I
Yeah.
think I do like Garrett in this particular because there's no guarantee Akers is getting 20 carries again if they're falling behind
Mm-hmm.
to the Chargers. It has to play into your favor. Is the only way that Akers work.
Yep.
And I
I agree.
don't know if this is gonna happen again, where they're gonna be up, and having to run out the clock and all that. So that's tough.
Yeah, I
I think
like
my
Garrett.
chances. Chubb and Hunt. I mean, they used to be, not anymore.
Yeah, definitely not this year. Hunt has
They
disappeared
used to be. At
basically.
one point, they were both top 10 guys in that one season, but we haven't seen that since. Wilson and Mostert, no, absolutely not.
Not even close.
Absolutely not. All right, next game we got was my squad, the Minnesota Vikings, at home against the Giants. We ended up coming away with the win in the last seconds, if I'm not mistaken.
Which they seem to do almost every week now.
And we are undefeated doing it. One score game.
Oh, don't worry, that'll come back to bite them.
Kirk, 299, 3 tutties. AJ Hawkinson, big cock Hawk, doing his
This is
thing. 13 for 109 and 2 tutties. AJ, 12 for 133 and a tutty. I'm going to take my time talking about my boys for a second here.
you didn't take time to talk about them when they lost, so let's go.
We haven't really lost much this year. Anyway, we wound up getting the win. It was frustrating for a while. We should have put them out of misery way earlier, but we didn't. Richie James and Hodgins, both 8 catches apiece. Hodgins has been solid the last few
Yes,
games.
he has, and
Definitely,
I thought about picking him up in Dynasty. I really did.
Definitely an option if you need somebody to play. Slayton, Hodgins, or James.
I think Slayton is probably the guy I would take out of those three just because he's the more
Yeah,
proven guy. But you can't argue with Hodgins' production. Richie
yeah,
James, that
yeah.
bro, there
How
was
many
bro,
times is Daniel Jones going to throw the ball 42 times as well?
no fair point, but the production looks like it's there, so you can't be too disappointed with that. Barkley was
Saquon,
really good.
10 targets, 8 catches. I mean, the difference is he's getting the pass work. That's what, keep putting him into that elite.
A little better on the ground too from an efficiency standpoint.
Yeah, that's true.
He hasn't been really efficient running the ball lately, so you like to see 6 yards of carry and a touchdown on 14 carries.
Guys, we said not to play KJ Osborne, to not chase those points.
No, 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 and I didn't do that.
And even this week, Kirk threw it almost 50 times, and even still, KJ was not.
Four
He threw it for
targets.
17, 4 targets. It was all JJ and Hawk, like 16 targets apiece. Damn.
That's wild. All
But
right.
yeah, Joseph winds up kicking the 61-yarder to win it. What do you got to say about the Vikings and the Giants?
Fuck them both. No, it was a really good offensive game from a fantasy standpoint. If you had anybody in this game, you were pretty happy with what you came away with. If you played Daniel Jones in the 2 quarterback Superflex league, you were pretty happy with his production. Daniel Jones, obviously, if you had the stones to play Isaiah Hodgins in the semifinals, good for you. But then obviously on the Viking side, Dalvin Cook, a little disappointing if you played him, only 64 yards. But yeah, everybody else really good. Kirk Cousins, obviously, Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson. I will say this though, with the amount of attempts and the amount of targets, Adam Thielen was a little disappointing for me. He usually gets in the
Right.
action somehow. He's not what he used to be, but he's still a solid wide receiver 3 flex at this point. So to see him only go, 1 catch on 5 targets, 6 yards, no touchdowns, that was pretty disappointing. So other than that, pretty much what I expected from the Vikings anyway, offensively.
He said rate his lineup for the last week. Fields, Connor, Henry. We don't know if Henry. Hopefully Henry's playing. Make sure you keep an eye on that. One guy, D Hop. D Hop. Yeah. Anybody else to play other than D Hop? If we'll see. Flex
McSorley
Garrett.
is playing. Ugh, yeah,
And
the
there's
D
D.
Hop thing.
Hopefully McSorley is not QB. I don't know what the situation is with what
Colt
is the
McCoy.
situation with Colt McCoy?
I don't even know.
Let's see. Says he could play. Oh, if you better pray that he plays. But yeah, keep an eye on it. That would be good news. So listen, if everybody is playing and D Hop has, the QB, then you got Kelsey, you got Sun God. I mean, Hunter's been solid. Fields, we know what he can do. Obviously, didn't do much last week, but you've got guys that can score. So, like it. Give you a 8 out of 10, maybe 9 actually, because you got Kelsey. If D Hop got the QB, we'll start this week. Need RB. RBs are dead. Brees Hall, Javante, and Damian Pierce.
Whew.
I have
Cuba's okay.
Chuba, Michael Carter, JK, and Gibson. Okay. I
You
play
need one
Chuba,
RB
right?
or two? You need one
No, we need
RB or
two
two?
RBs or one. How many RBs you need? I mean, I was gonna say gotta play Chuba. I guess you gotta play what JK. What JK do last week?
J.K. Dobbins. Let's see.
Nothing. 12 for 59. I mean,
Still getting the carries. I mean,
Pittsburgh the next week. Gibson is just okay. You've got to pray he gets a touchdown. He's got a good floor, but not really a good ceiling.
see, the problem with Chuba is they have Foreman there, and they're not playing the Lions every week.
No. If you got to pick one, I'm picking JK because I think he'll get the most work out of them. What
Yeah,
about
I
you?
mean, I don't know. What's Michael Carter been up to? He's getting more passing work. So in a PPR league, Michael Carter becomes a little more of an option. But yeah, I mean, listen, I kind of agree with the JK thing just because the Ravens are going to run it regardless. So I'm cool with that. Chuba is a little appealing to me, but I know JK is going to get the ball.
He's talking some dynasty here. Got offered Tony Pollard and Aiko.
I don't know.
Offered Tony Pollard and Connor for AJ Brown in a second. No, I'm not
So
giving up
you would
AJ for that.
you would give up AJ Brown for Pollard
No,
and Connor? No,
I'm not
I
giving
know
up.
that's what I'm saying. I don't like that either.
Not doing that. Definitely don't do that. You need way more for AJ. That was pretty much the only dud. Yeah.
Tell me
Receivers are
about it.
AJ, Waddle, Godwin, Cooper, and Pittman. You got
No,
solid wide
keep
receivers.
AJ Brown and Waddle. Don't give up those two
Yeah,
guys.
I'm definitely keeping Brown and Waddle. If there's anybody I'm giving up, it'd be Godwin,
Amari,
Cooper,
if you
either
really wanted
Cooper
to.
or Pittman. You're not giving up AJ or Waddle. Those are like must keeps, unless you're getting a shit ton in return. Doesn't make sense. Do that, MJ. Keep your studs. McSorley starts again. My replacements are DJ Moore and Sutton.
Not
Moore and
ideal,
Sutton.
but DJ Moore is a better option at this point than D Hop if McSorley starts.
And MJ, I know you've got some injuries at running back. So just after the season, at least, I don't know if you can still trade now, but get rid of one of these Godwin, Cooper, or Pittman for a wide receiver. I mean, a wide receiver for a running back. If you're gonna need, also get rid of Damian Pierce, Vontae, all depending on what you can get back. Just shop around, but I'd be trying to get rid of Pierce. That's one of my guys to get rid of. Move Garrett to the wide receiver 2 spot and start someone else. What's those options, Caddy? If you do that, and if D Hop does play, then I mean, if D Hop does play, if McCoy does play, I don't think it's a bad option to start D Hop. He's been still solid. Got offered Josh Jacobs and Brian Robinson for Pittman, Waddle. No, I'm not giving up
Mm-mm.
Waddle for that. I'm not giving up
Nope.
Pittman and Waddle for that. No,
Nope. Can't do that.
no.
We don't
You're
even know what
better
Josh
off
Jacobs is going to be
you're
next
better
year.
off even just trading if you got to trade one of those guys for some picks. Like if you wound up trading I'm on the clock. He's giving me a 2 winning. Don't no. No. Don't do this just to win for right now. I'm not giving up those guys in a dynasty just to try and win. No, no. You can pay for cheaper running backs if you need to.
I agree.
Spend a pick on Foreman. Go spend a third round pick on Foreman or something like that. There's no reason for you to spend up a Pittman and a Waddle. This isn't redraft. You're going to absolutely tank your team if you do this. So do not tell them to fuck off. MJ says I'm on the clock. No, yeah, tell him to kick rocks, bro. You ain't giving that up for
No.
no.
You keep him on the clock. You giving up the better players, or
Yeah,
you have the better players.
yeah. You need to add probably 2 first round picks in there.
And I still probably
To be able to think of for me to actually even think like, you know what, maybe it is worth it. Yeah, but
no,
this
those
is
guys are way too good.
that's definitely not worth it, bro. Go Burrow and Godwin for T Law and Stevenson. They give up Burrow and Godwin, and you get T-Law and Stevenson. No, I'm not giving up Burrow not for that. I'm not doing it. Stevenson is not that important for not only the rest of this year, but for the next years and going forward to go down from Burrow to T-Law.
I agree.
Not doing it, bro. Not doing it.
No,
No, you
keep
need a
Burrow.
running back, but you also don't want to fuck
Pillage your
yourself for
team. Yeah.
the years to come just because you're trying to make a trade right now. Go to some of the teams in your league that are at the bottom of the standings that are not in the playoffs right now. Go to any non-playoff, or it could be any non-playoff team at this point.
And
Because
offer up a pick.
this is
You're in
true
the
right
you're in the
now.
championship.
And look at the running backs that they have. They have the older running backs or anybody that's even playing. The cheaper you can get a guy for, the better. So again, you got to attack the teams that are out of it right now that need to take something to get, like, that's why I said Foreman, because Foreman next year is probably nothing, and even going forward. So if that team could get a pick or something just to get out of it, they should do it. Min and J.K. Dobbs, Kenneth Walker. Okay, now that is a
That
little
could
bit
work.
better. You're getting Kenneth Walker. Might be takeable. Can you grab like something else with Kenneth Walker? Can you grab a pick in there? Can you finagle something?
Maybe a second round, third rounder.
Yeah, if you can finagle second, third, fourth round pick in there, Burrow and AJ Brown for Patrick Mahomes and D Hop. No, I love Patrick Mahomes, but I'm not taking D Hop and losing AJ Brown, bro.
And Burrow, like that combination is not worth it.
I mean, J.K. Dobbs for Kenneth Walker. It doesn't help you right now, but it helps you for the future.
Listen, MJ, don't keep your untouchable guys out of there. Keep Burrow out of there. Keep AJ Brown out of there.
Yeah. So when you're talking about Dynasty, you've got to look at the future as well. So just Joe Burrow, untouchable for you. AJ Brown, untouchable for you. Waddle, untouchable for you. So
And then
those
work from
guys
there,
can't be involved in any trades. I know you want to win right now, but you can't just look at. I mean, realistically, this is one game that we're talking about, and you can't be willing to mortgage your future of your team just for this one game.
I agree, especially when it comes to
fucking no.
Pacheco and ETM for Waddle. You can't do that. No. Keep those guys out of there.
Instead of Waddle, can you make it Godwin? Can you make it somebody else? I mean, and then get more than just ETN.
How about Godwin and Pittman for these two? I wouldn't mind that.
It can't be Waddle. It's got to be Pittman. It's got to be Godwin
and Cooper.
Or Cooper. It's got to be somebody else. It can't be Waddle. If you have to throw something else on top of it, whether it's a late pick, third, fourth, or something, just to get it done, then I would do it. I don't like Isaiah Pacheco for the future. If you need him to play this 1 week, I mean, you just don't overspend. You don't want to overspend for 1 week. I know you desperately want to win the ship, but trust me, it's not going to feel good to win the ship and then be shitty for the next 2, 3, 4 years.
How about this, MJ? Just do a straight up 1-for-1 Pacheco for Godwin or something like that. You know what I mean? You're not losing.
Hold on. We might got something here. Eckler and Wilson for Pittman, J.K. Gibby, and a first. Ooh, this is a lot.
I think you're too.
This is the best one that you've had so far. I think I want to say,
but I think you're too loaded at wide receiver to give up a first just to get Eckler, who might not. Running backs shelf life. Like I said, do something small.
All right, is this your first, MJ? And how many teams are in the league? Can't be super flex because we're throwing around QBs.
That's tough, man. Just do a 1-for-1. Do like Pacheco for Godwin or something, or Pacheco for, a Michael Pittman, something like that.
I really like the idea of getting Wilson and getting off of Pittman.
Yeah, that's
basically
fine.
It's J.K., Gibby, and a first for Eckler. I mean, it is a little more than you might want to pay, but if that's the only way to get it done, Eckler is somebody that can still be very useful for you for the next few years. He's not a pure runner. He catches the ball a lot, like,
And in the PPR, he could be gold, obviously.
It's all right. So it's his first and it's 12 man. So if he's in the ship, you're talking about the 111, the 112. So I'm okay with giving that up. Can you get like a pick back? Can you get a second, a third, or a third back on this trade? I don't really mind having to give up Gibby or JK. But I'd probably want to target some of these other teams out there. I know you've not got much time, and I doubt all the teams are going to be looking at their things at the deadline. So it might be tough, but when you're going for the gusto like this, I don't really have much faith in JK. Gibby, we know kind of what Gibby is and where he's at. So I'm okay with giving up the late random first for whatever player that's going to be. Getting the Eckler and the Garrett Wilson. So I just want something back. If I could get a second or third back, that'd be good. Or even a player if it could be. He countered Eckler, Wilson, and am I reading? D Sing, who's that?
But he's giving up a first and a second now.
Was they're adding a second to it? What's decent? Why can't I?
He's adding a second.
Oh, Singletary. No, I'm not doing it that way. Giving up the second to take Singletary to get a better running back than Singletary in this draft class in the second round. Singletary might be done after this year, at least with the Bills. What do you think about it?
No, it's becoming way too convoluted. Just do a 1-for-1 or make the trade a little more simpler. You're getting into one of my pet peeves, which is making a 6, 7, 8 player pick trade. That's too much.
Let me try and go back to one of these other ones real quick and see. And I really like the Kenneth Walker one. I'm fine moving off of Pittman and DK for Kenneth Walker. Like I said, if you can grab something else on top of that, that'd be awesome. But I'm okay with taking that. Delusional. What up, my guy? It's been a minute.
Delusional. There it is.
Fellas snuck into the playoffs at 7-7. Find myself in the championship. Yep. Kittle, Higgins, Lamb. Absolutely.
That's good work.
Should be happening once you get out here, bro. Should be happening, man.
That's really good work.
Eddie, what up, my guy? Damn, it's been a minute. We got the boys back in town, baby.
Yeah, we do.
Delusional said first year Dynasty. I picked up Lamar, Lance, and Pitts. That's good, bro. Lamar obviously not so good, and Lance got hurt. That's okay. Embrace the trade grind all season. I'm hoping to stay hot and win the ship.
Hey, you made it there, so
you made it.
That's pretty awesome.
Question: do you still have Pitts? Do you still have Lance? Do you still have Lamar? You said you embraced the trade grind. So let me know what you did there. Do you still have those guys? I hope you still got Pitts. But yeah, let me know. What's going on with you, Patty? You in the ship here? What you got? Some Dynasty stuff for us? Let us know.
Patty Mills, this isn't the same
whatever.
Patty. That's not the same Patty from before, right?
Patty Mills, he's been in here. He's been in here a while. He hasn't been here for a minute, but MJ said Allen, Justin Jefferson, and Mixon for Joe Burrow, J.K. Gibson, Pittman, and Cooper.
This is crazy now.
Justin Jefferson and Mixon. So if we get Burrow, we got to give up Pittman and Cooper. Take Allen and JJ for that. You're not giving up a pick. You're not giving up any of your guns. You're giving up Burrow, but you're getting Josh Allen. Giving up Pittman and Coop, you're getting JJ. Done, bro. Do it right now. What do you think, Hammer? For me, it's a smash.
Yeah,
You're
it's
getting the
it's
two
just
best fantasy players in
yeah.
fantasy football right now.
Well, Josh Allen hasn't been great. Joe Burrow's been better lately, but I understand what you're saying.
Lately, if you want to say, not overall.
It's closer than you
And you're
think,
getting JJ on top. You're getting JJ
which
over,
and you're getting Mixon for right now.
and then you're getting Mixon. Now trade Mixon after the season. I'll take this trade right now, but trade Mixon after the season. That would be my advice. Um,
Yeah, I don't
that's what
mind
I
it.
would do. MJ, this is the best trade that you've up there so far. You're getting two of the best players in the game, so I'm doing it, bro. 2-13. You got to give up first as well. That's fine. I don't care. Give up the first. For what you're getting, I can't say no to that. Traded away Lance and the pick. Delusional. Traded away Lance and the pick for T-Law. Okay. But still have other two, T-Law and Purdy in my super flex QB. Yo, I know people are rocking Purdy to the, to the ship
Wheels fall off.
in
Yeah.
so absolutely, bro. Awesome. Feeling good about that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Trey Lance he still has a chance, but you're getting a more safer guy in T-Law. It is super flex, so like I said, he's kind of creeping up into that top 10 range if he hasn't already. I might have him just like 9 or 10 or something like that. But I really like that delusional. Good shit. Then I'm guessing you still got Pitts and Lamar. Hopefully Lamar gets his shit together, bro. Oh, this is good. Patty looking to win my league this week. You've got the what should I do with the picks? Hold until the draft to move up with later picks. 1 QB. Um,
Wait, he's in the championship and he has everybody's pick.
so number one, I would say, do you need to spend any of these picks to actually buy somebody? Do you need somebody this week? Do you have to go and buy the championship right now? Do you have to go buy a player? If you don't, and you just have these picks in your pocket, take the 101. I wouldn't give that up. So go ahead and get yourself Bijan. And I'm gonna try and get rid of the rest of these picks. I don't really want to make all of those picks. I don't know what your team looks like, but if you can trade those picks for 2024s, or even 2025, I would prefer 2024. So yeah, I would try and trade out of those picks if you could move back to the next year, or combine them in some way, shape, or form and buy whoever you want almost. But what do you think, Hammer?
I think it really depends on what your target for the off season is. Like what specific area of your team are you looking to improve? Because you have the draft capital to either go out there and buy somebody. And I think the value of the picks gets a little more once the draft rolls around. I think people start to value the picks a little bit more. So in my estimation, I would kind of hold on to the picks until the draft and then start shopping that stuff around, because then obviously the NFL draft would have already passed and you'll know who's on what team. And then you can trade players picks, whatever the case may be, because people are going to target certain guys at the 101, the 106, whatever you got there. So I would wait. I would hold on to the picks to the draft, because they do become more valuable once the draft rolls around. And then you can pretty much have your pick of the litter on if you want to take the 101 or move it and basically buy whatever you want to improve your team for next year, whatever that target might be.
Yeah, you have so many picks that, I mean, you can, of course, explore. As Hammer said, of course, the picks are going to get more valuable as you go. So even if you get rid of some picks right after the season to get a guy that you want, because that's the time that the guy wants to trade and you can grab that guy, then Absolutely. So it all, it all kind of depends. When are people willing to give up something? When are they not? Somebody might be willing to give up somebody right now after the season, but then once the draft comes around, they're like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to give up that guy anymore. So, it all depends, of course, who you want to get. So holding until the draft is definitely a possibility. But again, shop it around and see what you can get here. Because if you can grab a guy that you want, absolutely do it. I wouldn't look to move up. Um, One thing I probably wouldn't do unless you desperately like somebody in this class and you want to move up to the 102, 103, 104. I mean, for me, it's kind of if you're talking this is one QB, right? So for me, it's Bijan and then Gibbs, Jigba, Addison, Big Q, like, and that's it. That's like after those guys, like it's very much like it could be anything after that. So I would take Bijan with the 101, and then I'd try and move the rest of those picks if you could. But you're in perfect position to actually run your league. Like you can do
Mm-hmm.
literally what everything is. You control the market, you control the board. You control everything. So
I was literally thinking the same thing.
yeah, like I said, I'd be looking to try and get somebody if you could, and then the rest hold until the draft, and that's where you can where you got everybody by the tail at that point. So. Polish got offended and said Burrow over Allen. Right? Right, MJ? He was like, whoa, you getting Allen? Nah. Burrow's my guy.
He is my guy. He's been my guy. He's got me to back Dynasty ships. He is my guy.
Listen, Allen is still Allen. Burrow, unfortunately, is like top 5. Allen is still top 2. So, but yeah, I mean, you got to at least with the rushing. Hammer is just a little bit biased right now because of what Burrow's been doing to him, and that's all fair. So
Burrow has been, bro. He's my guy. I love Joe Burrow.
MJ said Polish got offended, bro.
I
Man
love Burrow,
rolled his
dude.
eyes like,
He's my guy.
gosh, Allen. Nah,
No doubt about it.
no trades during the playoffs. Think I could still win it. 112 could be 111. Yeah, of course. Go win that chip, Patty, and then you control the league, bro. You are in such good position. I'm not sure what the rest of your team looks like, so I'm kind of just giving a general, go get, obviously who you want. But if there are certain guys that you like in this draft, then you have the ability to go get one of those guys. But
Mm-hmm.
you might want to take some, if you can move some of those to 2024s, random 2024s, that'd be good. Yep, I have Pitts. Brees is on the IR. I think my team is loaded for now and the future. That is what I like to hear, brother. Beat 2 teams that sold all their picks until 2025 to contend. That's got to be a lovely feeling. And I still have 223 firsts, even if they're late. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. First are first, and then I think you playing the super flex, so even the late firsts are valuable. Um, so awesome, bro. I mean, listen, you've got the first. I don't know what the rest of your team looks like, but I mean, I know you have Lamar and who was it? T-Law. Like, if you want to move off of Lamar and throw a pick with it and try and tier up a QB, maybe you could do something like that as well. But if you can lock in like T-Law and another top 10 guy, I know you got Lamar already, but I'm not a huge like Lamar fan. I don't know. What are you feeling about Lamar and Dynasty, Hammer?
It's tough because I remember we just did a Dynasty review and they had Fields and Lamar. We basically said keep both of them
But you got to get a third QB, yeah.
just because in that, well, yeah, I think that was a 1 QB, but in a super
Always
flex
hot.
or a super flex or 2 QB, you're going to need to make sure you always have a backup option ready because those guys, while they are dynamic, they do run the high risk of getting injured. So make sure you always have a backup plan if you have those 2 guys.
One in this league has Tua as his QB2, so I'm picking up MINSHEW, Colt McCoy, and Teddy B, so he can't start a QB. Doing everything I can to bring it home. Do what you can.
So this is one of the things that I don't mind doing. All this tanking, and you know what? We have a bunch of viewers out there that said they were going to tank some games to play other teams. I need you guys to pop in, let us know how that worked out, because
It's true too.
I don't support that kind of strategy, but picking up other guys so other guys can have them, I'm totally good with that.
He's got Watson at QB too. So I mean, you've got 3 top 10 QBs basically. You
Potentially.
are potentially going to run over a lot of those teams in your league for years to come when you've got a room like that in a super flex. Because now you're not only giving yourself 2 of the best positions, having those QBs playing, you also have the backup, and you're also saturating, like, the market kind of where, those guys aren't available to other people. So, you're just giving yourself a huge advantage in the super flex to have 3 of those top 10, basically top 10 guys. So, fucking
Yeah.
awesome job, bro. And hopefully you do take this home. And then you've got, the future to, as well. But yeah, that's one thing that sucks is when you kind of give up everything, you're going for it all and then you wind up not winning it. Like we have a couple of teams in our dynasty league this year that gave up everything. They have no picks for the next 2 years and they wound up losing and not getting to the championship.
And meanwhile, I'm in
Um,
the championship with 2 first-round picks and still
mhm.
young talent. So that's one of those things
Aguilar
where,
got in. Aguilar
yeah,
got
he
in.
did.
Yes. I'm my bad, Hammer. I saw this and I'm just saying yes. I don't care if it's 4 fucking first round picks. You've got all of them. You're getting Justin Jefferson, who is the best here.
And
That
most importantly, you're not giving up the 101.
and you're not giving up the 101. And these are, these are late picks. I mean, listen, it's a lot when you look at it. It's 4 first round picks. A lot of people go with, and there's a couple other dynasty guys that I talk to and follow and stuff, and they go with the 3 first round pick rule. Like if you're giving up 3 first, any of these star guys, you got to give me 3 first round picks. Most of them got to be early. The fact that these are not like early picks, like I'm okay with
Mid,
giving up
yeah.
the 4 to go get Justin Jefferson. You're in the championship already. And now you're
And
about
you
to add Justin Jefferson
and the 101
for
pick.
some random guys. And like I said, after those first kind of 5 guys off the board,
It's random.
other than the QBs with those super flexes, it's kind of like just a crapshoot after that. Like you're not sure really what's going to happen. After those first kind of 4 or 5 picks, I'm trying to jump out of first round. I'd rather either move back or try and jump into 2024. And then take some of those guys. So yeah, I'd absolutely do that. I know it may seem like a lot to some people, and it definitely is, but I mean, we're talking about JJ here. And Patty, I would love to know how many starters you got in this league. Is it start 8, start 9, start 10? Brian, what up, Brian? Not for nothing, but for someone who hasn't watched football in like 5 years to being in the finals with a 9-5 team, I'm over the moon, bro. Good shit, Brian. Good shit.
I
I
feel like
remember, bro. First time player, and everyone wants you to lose. I remember you saying, it was your first year, so we appreciate your support. Hopefully, you come out and win this ship. But hopefully you've learned some things, and we've helped you somewhat along the way to get to where you are.
yeah, I think sometimes, especially when you get down to this nitty-gritty, the less you know the better, because you just play your guys and you don't fret over calls. You just play your guys and good things happen. So me getting to the championship actually took somebody playing a guy they normally play all the time, and they sat him down this week and he scored 20 points, and the difference was an 11-point difference. So sometimes the least you know, or the less you know, less you pay attention, a lot less than we do anyway. Sometimes that serves you a little bit better. You don't second guess yourself.
Just looking at Patty from before, even if he gave up those picks, he still keeps the 101. So he's getting
That's what I'm
Bijan
saying.
and JJ, bro. That's crazy. And you still have the 112 even after giving up those 4 picks. Oh, you want to pick at the 112 and the 203, go ahead. Maybe I don't know if you can I wouldn't really combine those to move up, like I said. But you can move that 112 for a random 24 for next year. Yeah, do that. Or you go out and get somebody, attach that 112 to somebody you have, put the 112 with the 203 and a player, and go out and grab somebody else. So now you're getting Bijan, you're getting JJ, and you're getting some other stud for, you're setting yourself up.
Mm.
So I like it, bro. What else? You got anything else to say to Patty about this
No.
monster, uh, this monster play that he's about to make on this league?
Yeah, I wish I was in that position to do that.
All right, delusional. Look at what delusional said, because it said he has Watson. So he's got Lamar, Tilo, and Watson, CD, Higgins, DK, Deontay, London, Peoples Jones, Zay, Brees, Najee, Monty, Rashard, Pitts, Everett, favorite dynasty team. Yeah, that's a squad, bro.
Running back's a little light.
I like it. I mean, you got Najee and Monty rolling in there, so Rashard, Brees will be back next year, so I'll have Brees, Najee, and Monty. Plus whoever you wound up picking in the draft, or whatever guys you wound up picking up. Okay, if you wanted to move off of Deontay, Deontay and Peoples Jones, maybe combine that with something. Right, Patty said he's got a God squad. He says he doesn't know what to do. Start 9, okay. QB, T-Law, Lance, and Watson, CMC, Walker, Sanders, Gers, Waddle, Higgins, Lamb, Pitts, Godwin, Traylon. Some, what do you say?
And some Jags.
And some Jags. T-Law, Lance, and Watson.
So you're starting T-Law there, obviously. I think for
CMC, Walker, Sanders.
you starting CMC and Walker.
Don't forget you got the 101. So if you're grabbing Bijan, you're getting Bijan, CMC, and Walker. That's awesome. See if you can get rid of Sanders. See if you can get rid of Akers high, while their value is still high. I don't know where Sanders is going next year, but Eagles are most likely not paying him. Akers is getting a little more work now. So, while that's up there, just try and cash out on some of those guys. And
Yeah, I agree with that, especially a guy like Akers where we have no clue what's going to happen with him.
Higgins, Lamb, Pitts, untouchable. Win Traylon. I mean, can you combine that to get something, to go up a tier in wide receiver as well? Or can you go up in QB? It's one QB. I mean, listen, T-Law's great. Watson's great. Watson hasn't looked great. Can you move, T-Law and Godwin and Traylon and go get you, a Mahomes, a Joe Burr, one of those? Would you be looking to maybe try and do something like that? Remember?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. I do like Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he has the ceiling that Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes has, obviously. But since he does have Higgins, yeah, I do like that actually, that he has Higgins. And you could stack Higgins with Joe Burrow for quite some time. And if you come off of T-Law, you come off of Sanders and Akers, even a Treylon Burks and a pick, and you get Burrow and maybe a little something else. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of addition by subtraction there.
Brian literally went out drafting PPA after picking CMC with the second pick. With Brown and Jalen Hurts were my third, second to last picks. They've been unstoppable. Yeah, bro. You killed it. Doing that. I remember asking you guys if I should dump James Conner, and you told me to keep him. Been my RB2 with CMC ever since.
And it's been gold, absolute gold.
Good.
Because
Good.
the deal with James Conner, and we keep saying this, like he's not like when he gets hurt, it's really tough and it's really annoying. But once they dumped Eno Benjamin, it was like all systems go for James Conner, and he's been basically a top 5 RB production wise over the last month. And if you have him as your RB2 next to CMC, forget about it. You're in good shape.
Listen, I was a James Conner hater before the season, not necessarily because I don't think he's going to produce, but it's just where he was being drafted, where you had to actually pick him. I just did not like that
Because he
spot
scored 1,000,000 touchdowns last year.
where
That's
you
why.
had to get him. So that is why I was kind of off on James Conner before. But then, during the season, he kind of slowed down and then he got picking up. And we were saying, play James Conner, play James Conner. And look at what he's doing now, where he's kind of, you're riding him basically to the championship.
And I think also too, him being hurt during that mid part of the season was kind of a blessing in disguise because now he's been just healthy down the stretch now. You know what I mean? So it's not like he's questionable every single week. No, he's in there. He's going to get 20 plus opportunities between rushing and receiving, and he's probably going to get in the end zone.
Yeah. Delusional says he's going to draft 2 RBs this draft with his 2 firsts. Absolutely. Or you can use those to go get somebody established if you
Yeah.
want. It just depends on your league. I mean, if you're looking late first, I think this was is this a super flex or the 1 QB? I think there's a super flex for Delusional. So you're looking at, depending who's there, it really depends where these guys get drafted, what's going to determine, at the end there. But Sean Tucker, Zach Evans, Charbonnet, Bigsby, these are those are kind of the guys you're going to be looking at in that range there. Just depends where they go and if they go in day 2 or not. You go in day 2 in that second round, that's really what you like to see. So yeah, let us know anything else y'all got there. Let's see what else is there I know we didn't go over all the games. We don't necessarily have to, but let's see what else we were. Stevenson gave a dud.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Right. Chase didn't do great, right?
No, he was okay. He had that late fumble that kind of pissed me off, but overall, he's still going to get his work, and he's just a touchdown away from really breaking things wide open. But Chase is just fine. You don't have to worry about him. He's full steam ahead. 11 targets. Give me all that work. T. Higgins has been phenomenal. That guy's awesome. So
Then you
yeah,
got,
I don't worry about the Bengals whatsoever. Joe Mixon's really interesting because he'll have a 4-touchdown game, and then you won't hear from him again for a month, basically, in terms of significant offensive production. You still have to play him, obviously, but if he's your RB1, leaves a little to be desired. But yeah, the Bengals will be just fine. They're rolling. They're scoring points. Joe Burrow had a sick game again. He was just carving up the Patriots in that first half. Couple interceptions. I could kind of live with that with the production he's giving you. And on the rushing front, he runs a little bit. I know he didn't have a crazy game running the ball, but Joe Burrow has sneaky rushing upside. I think he has 6 rushing touchdowns this season, which is really good and not something you expect from a quote-unquote pocket passer that Joe Burrow is. So Joe Burrow, my guy, keep doing your thing, kid. And if you do your thing next week, I could have a championship back-to-back. So you know how I feel about Joe Burrow.
yeah, he's got 5 rushing touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying.
So he's got 39 in total.
That's pretty good.
I think Hurts has got about 35. Mahomes has got 41 in total. Josh Allen 39. So yeah, he's right up
Right
there
there.
with the rest of them. Right up there with the rest of them. Ryan, not trying to bust you guys' balls, but any good kickers worth the stream? You never busting balls, bro. Any questions you have, we're here for you, bro. I had Boswell, but he missed 2 big field goals. Listen, we were just kind of talking about this before. You're in the
Yes, we were.
championship. Don't get cute. Don't, preferably get a guy that's kicking in a dome.
Or playing in California. Southern
or
California.
playing in good weather. You want to make sure, especially these weeks, you're looking at who is out there on waivers for you, and maybe we can give you a little bit of help on maybe who you can go with
And
there.
and to be honest with you, Brian, that's not a terrible question because oftentimes these kickers, and as Blanc was saying before, kickers and defense really don't often get paid attention to, maybe as much as they should, especially in these late weeks. I had Brett Maher on my dynasty team, and last week the dude gave me 18 points when kickers weren't really doing a whole lot because of shitty weather. Maher playing in Dallas in the dome gave me 18 points, and he was a big reason why I ended up winning that semifinals game and going to the championship. So don't underrate kickers. Sometimes they can be annoying. I know Blanc wants them outlawed, as he said in the group chat, because he got burned by a kicker, but they are important, and they are important in terms of weather and where they're playing. So, like you said, throw your kickers or whoever's available, and we could give you some good advice there.
Yeah, and kickers are pretty much kind of up and down as well. I mean, you never know exactly.
No, you don't.
Of
But
course, there are better kickers to have than others, but once you get past those, the Justin
Justin
Tuckers of
Tucker,
the world, it's kind
yeah,
of just looking at the
roll
best
the dice,
offenses, and
right?
then after that, it's kind of just looking at the
Weather,
weather and where they're playing. You want the good conditions. So
absolutely.
let's see what else. I'm gonna go back to 16 here. But you had Baker Mayfield just looking like God out there.
Which is crazy. That was crazy.
Foreman just running all over mofo.
Chuba,
Chuba
Chuba
Hubbard
too,
running all over. I mean,
bro.
165 for Foreman. I mean, 125 for Chuba.
Bro, I think the Panthers had like 300 rushing yards. Let me check.
And we were saying, even last week, like, listen, Foreman, I don't know because Detroit's been really good against the rush. They've played really good defense, and then all of a sudden they went up and finally got just gashed.
Getting sued.
Get sued. Yeah. I mean, Mo Williams wound up getting hurt. Swift played a little, more snaps than he's played
But
all
didn't do
season,
anything.
except for year one, but didn't get much. I mean, still, they only gave him 4 carries. They were down by a lot going into that second half, so I guess they were in kind of passing mode at that point, but
Even
he
still,
wasn't
you'd
involved
expect
in the
him to get the
passing game
target.
as you'd like to,
5
5
targets,
targets,
though.
but only a catch. I mean, Amon-Ra hogged it with 13, of course, but 7 for 76, didn't score the touch. Still threw 3 touchdowns, but Zylstra? Really? Not even the main backup tight end, not even
No,
Brock Wright,
no.
Zylstra.
Still 3 of them things.
Like, bro. But DJ Shark still a good play. I mean, 4 for 108. He's
Hmm.
been solid these last few weeks.
They're a high volume offense. Either way, they're still a high volume
He's
offense.
come back.
And if you roll Jared Goff out there as your QB2 or your super flex, once again, we said we had some Jared Goff questions last week.
Yeah. DJ Moore, starting to look better the last few weeks. I mean, Sam Darnold, looks like he isn't as bad.
Sam Darnold was pretty good, and a guy in our dynasty league actually started Sam Darnold, and he
Oh,
paid
really?
dividends. I couldn't believe he did that.
Connor.
Look,
What up, Connor? Zeke, Kamara, or Lenny? Start 2.
phew, that's a tough one because Lenny had a good game.
Eagles. He's got the Panthers. Listen, Zeke's got the Titans. I mean, there's no Tannehill.
I'm playing Zeke either way. Doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. I like Zeke, especially with the matchup. Most likely should be winning that game and being on top. So you've got Kamara at Philly, and then you've got Lenny at Carolina, where Carolina's been playing good.
Home to Carolina.
I mean, yeah, whatever. Carolina. I think I'm going Lenny Zeke. I think I'd probably sit Kamara, even though it's to say.
Yeah, this is a divisional game too, so this is really tough. And even if the Eagles are getting in the Saints, Kamara still got some passing work.
Yeah.
This is
Play the
this is
same
a
with
tough
Lenny
one.
too.
I think his Zeke, no matter what, guaranteed Zeke here.
Yeah. I think
Mm,
I think Lenny and Kamara are almost pretty even, but I think I like Lenny's chances of getting into the end zone better than I do Kamara's. Do I? I don't even know if that's true.
I
That's
mean,
close.
Kamara only has 2 touchdowns this season.
No. So against the Panthers, yeah, I'll take Lenny and Zeke. Let's not overthink Lenny and make the same mistake like some other people last week.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Zeke and Kamara here. I just like the potential for the receiving upside.
I like that too. Last week Lenny had 9 catches.
I
That's
hear it.
the other part. Is like Lenny gets that too. So I'm like, I think Lenny will probably just get more carries. So that's pretty even. But we both are agreeing on Zeke. But pick your poison between Kamara and Lenny there, Connor. Let us know how it ends out, bro.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully we steered you in the right direction. Well, one of us will steer you in the right direction.
Well, if you play Zeke, you're heading in the right direction.
That is true. Let me get back to week 16 quick before we wound up popping off. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, of course, if you haven't. But talked about, all right, Ravens, Falcons. Let's just talk about Ritter real quick.
A
Another, I
little
mean,
33 passing attempts, a lot more than we saw last week.
yeah,
Drake
yeah.
London doing his thing,
7
so
for
pretty good.
96. He's got about a 35% target share these last 2 weeks with
You
Ritter,
like that?
which is what you like
Algier,
to see.
Algier, solid
Your
once again.
boy. Yeah.
My boy, yeah, coming up big in my RB2
This is
spot. So
taking a back seat.
Algier's been really good. Five targets, 4 for 43, plus 74 more rushing yards, and some
Hmm.
opportunities down near the goal line. You like that? So yeah, I mean Cordell Patterson. I don't know. He can explode at any time, but I think I like Algier. If you have a slot and Algier is available, he could definitely be a nice pickup. He definitely was for me going down the stretch.
Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, Drake London, I mean, he's playable now. No, he wasn't kind of for a long stretch. The other hand, you got Gus Edwards and JK pretty much split 11
Splitting.
and 12 carries. Huntley even had 11 carries, but Gus had 99 yards. JK had 59. He busted out that big 30 something yard one. Gus
Hmm.
Edwards only just nothing in the passing game. Mark Andrews downgraded. I mean, he's yeah, it's pretty
You
much Mark
you still
Andrews.
have to play him.
There's been a big now tier drop off from Kelsey. It used to be like Kelsey and like Andrews, like a little underneath. Now it's I don't know.
Hawkinson,
Then you got Hawkinson coming up. Like I don't like Mark Andrews at all. Like
Kittle coming alive with Purdy.
yeah, the problem with Kittle, I mean, right now, of course, he's fine, but the problem with Kittle is that he's just always hurt. He just plays rough. I mean, that dude is an animal. If you actually watch him, like with the blocking and the rushing plays, like he's in there,
Hmm.
and that's why he keeps getting hurt. He can't stay healthy. But yeah, there's nobody we're playing on the Ravens other than Andrews. Um,
My guy, Demarcus
I'm not
Robinson
even
with a
playing
touchdown.
Huntley. One target. You playing him this week?
I might. Adam Thielen's been trash.
No, you can't. You got to play Thielen at least over. You can't
Well,
play
it's really a
Thielen over
flex. It's
Robinson.
really Robinson's a flex guy at this point, and I might have to play Robinson because Christian Watson might be out. But we'll get to that.
I don't want you to win the back-to-back dynasty shifts, but I also don't want Bagalat to win at all.
I mean, I I'm not saying my team is better than his, but I've been producing a lot more than him.
Yeah, he hasn't been producing. He doesn't really belong there. He
No,
wound up getting in. Just like last year, he wound up slipping in the playoffs because somebody didn't set their lineup. Now this year, he's sliding in on some anomalies and not being able to score, but
like, if he doesn't
what it
score
is.
more than 130, he's not winning.
Yeah. Let's see. Texans, Titans. Texans wind up winning this one.
Which is crazy.
But again,
I didn't even keep eyes on this game.
yeah, I mean, no Tannehill, nothing much. I mean, Henry did his thing, but now Henry talking about possibly not playing. Sure, y'all keep an eye on that. You got anything to say about this game?
No, this really was Derrick Henry going to rush for 200 yards? Treylon Burks, yeah, Treylon Burks a little bit of a letdown if you decided to roll with him, which you probably shouldn't have with Malik Willis there.
Without somebody really capable of throwing the ball, and I think that's kind of the thing that Willis has shown is like, okay, this guy is just not capable of throwing the ball. And he wasn't picked high enough for them to be a project. Like I don't know, man. A lot of
Yeah,
people said he was going to go in the first round of the NFL draft, and then he didn't. So
well,
that kind of.
I think that was just more a product of the other quarterbacks that were available. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, there was nobody really. I mean, Kenny Pickett shouldn't even went where he went.
no,
Technically,
no,
if he came out in this class, he wouldn't be talked about with the top, 2 or 3
no.
guys.
And Kenny Pickett is miles better than Malik Willis.
Let's see, 49ers, Commanders. Purdy
Doing his thing.
Glock. Purdy just laid the smack down.
The Glock.
as we talked about before, 2 touchdowns in every game this guy's played. Kittle,
Solid.
obviously, your boy.
Yeah.
They can use
Kittle.
leadership. 2 huge games in the playoffs here.
Absolutely. Ayuk was solid.
And that's one thing that you got to also understand about a tight end position, having that and
Difference maker.
especially when you're talking about Dynasty, where that is even in redraft, of course, too, but it's huge to have that
Difference
advantage.
maker. Yeah.
It's a huge difference maker. Huge difference maker when you've got a guy like that. Ayuk was a little better this game too, 5 for 81.
That's solid.
CMC, not much. I mean, he did score the touchdown, but
Yeah, CMC didn't go crazy, but he still gave you a solid floor. And that's what you like about him. And that's a bad game for him, what he did. 46 and a touchdown. So you're looking at 10. You're looking at 10. So you're looking at 13. That's basically his floor. So you'll take that.
B-Rob, 22 for 58.
Against San Francisco, kind of expected that.
Get going. But then you had Terry, Dotson, and Samuel all with a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
All had decent days. I mean, 77, 76, and 52 yards. Then you had Heineke and Wentz both play.
Which I couldn't believe that happened.
Yeah, well, they're talking about now. They don't know if Heineke's going to be the starter going in.
Hey, that's fine. Put Carson Wentz in. He'll fuck it up, and the Packers will get a better shot at the playoffs.
DJ, Lenny Kamara start too. Lenny Kamara. This is part of that same question. Are you going to play DJ? Are you actually really going to still play DJ? Hey, listen, DJ's been hot, but I'd rather take the guys that are going to get the 15.
Yeah, I think I agree with that because DJ Moore's production depends on if Sam Donald's not going to be an asshole. So yeah, from that standpoint alone.
Just so up and down. And listen, DJ could go out there and have a sick game. Don't get us wrong. We're not saying that he can't do that, but we're going to look at the math. We're going to look at the probability, and we're just going to say, hey, Lenny and Kamara are going to actually get touches. We know they're going to get. Where we've seen DJ Moore just 3 games ago have 0 catches.
Duds. Yeah. He's giving you some.
Just think about that and say, do you want to take that chance? I'm not going to take that chance. And as much as I love me some DJ Moore, I'm not going to take that chance. I'm going to roll with Lenny and Kamara. You with me, Hammer, or what?
Yeah, I can't be mad at that. And like you said, just from the straight up standpoint that DJ Moore, his production is entirely dependent on what Sam Darnold decides to do. So I agree. Doesn't take that much to turn around and hand it off or throw a little swing route.
No, who do they even playing this week?
Carolina plays.
Yeah, they play the Bucks.
Tampa. Yeah.
They play the Bucks. Yeah, Lenny and Kamara. It is. Who do you got in there now, Connor? Let us know what way you're leaning. Eagles Cowboys quick.
Hell of a game. Number one.
Was
That
a
was
hell
a
of a
really
game.
that was really awesome to watch. Gardner Minshew, we kind of knew he could sling it, and that's exactly what he did. A couple of late turnovers, but overall, listen, if you had Jalen Hurts was hurt and you picked up Gardner Minshew, you like their production, no matter what.
Mhm.
Devonta Smith and AJ Brown, hell of a game. If you gambled and played Devonta in your flex, you probably advanced. So those two guys are really good. Dallas Goddard coming back, 3 for 67. Kind of like
Yeah,
that. Seeing another week of him getting back, especially at the shallow tight end position. I think he's kind of a forgotten guy at that position when you start mentioning the really top guys, but he's just a notch under. He's really good. And I wouldn't mind having him even on my dynasty team. I wouldn't mind having a guy like Goddard, especially with that offense and the way it's been rolling. So yeah, Dallas Goddard really good. And for the Cowboys, much of the same. Dak over 300, 3 touchdowns. Zeke another touchdown. What else is new? CD did his thing. 10 grabs, buck
yeah,
20, 2 tutties. Tony Pollard, not crazy, but still solid. 6 catches on 8 targets.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
what he didn't do rushing, he made up for it in receiving. And Michael Gallup, a touchdown. T.Y. Hilton with the crazy catch, though.
Big guy.
That was wild.
Yeah.
So, if you play T.Y. Hilton, no, I'm just kidding. You didn't play T.Y. Hilton.
You're not
But yeah,
going to.
no, unless you're some guy that we know.
Um, but yeah, I mean, CD before the season, I had him as my number 3 dynasty wide receiver. Has he solidified that view?
I, th- I think so. And I think it's more a product of the guys around him, like Michael Gallup starting to emerge as a viable number 2, sort of Noah Brown becoming viable. That just allows him to kind of move and get some stuff. He's still going to get those duds from CD, but he's with Dak. Dak's going to sling the ball around a lot. So number 3 seems a little high to me. Maybe 5,
Well, who do you
somewhere in
got?
there.
Who would you put ahead of him? I guess that's the better
Jefferson,
question.
Jefferson and Chase, obviously.
Of course.
You kind of got to look at Waddle now.
Mm, not that high.
from my estimation. AJ Brown, Amon Ra, you got to mix him in there somewhere. So that's kind of where I'm at, kind of in that 5
Yeah.
range.
I mean, that's kind of where I have those other guys like right after, where you're talking about the AJ Brown, the Amon Ra, and the Waddle. Like I have them right after.
Listen, you could throw
After
T. Higgins in
CD.
there too. You could throw T. Higgins in there
I
too.
got T. Higgins in kind of right after that. Right after that
So
as well. So you can mix up those guys any which way that you kind of whatever you feel or whatever you take.
agreed.
But yeah, I mean that's why I had him number 3 going into the season. I'm like, bro, he's gonna wind up there, so he's gonna be my guy. But yeah, I like what CD's doing. He's got 91 for 1,200 yards right now. Don't forget Dak missed. Dak did miss a few games. He still produced decently.
How many touchdowns does he have?
Got 8 touchdowns on the season right now.
That's solid. You figure he'll get another 1 or 2, finish somewhere 9,
Mhm.
10.
Yep, and then taking into consideration that Dak was out a little bit, they had a couple funky games. I mean, guy is up there. You know, right
Yeah,
now I guess Waddle's got 67 for 1,260.
he's more of a big play
He's got
guy.
8 touchdowns. He's got 8 touchdowns too. Yeah, he's getting that run after the catch that we're seeing, um, with Tua, and he's also had I think like 2 monstrous games, like right. something like that.
Especially early in the season.
So, yeah. Lenny and Kamara going in now, but DJ Moore's been going off on my bench. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he
It's
did the
tough,
last 2 weeks, but don't forget the week before that guy literally had no catches.
and that's tough, especially in
It's
this
just,
time of the year.
do you want to? Yeah, I don't know if I want to take that chance. If you're feeling risky, bro, then go ahead, but take the chance that either one of those other guys bust one out, then DJ Moore catching some kind of again. And I hope he does. I'm a DJ Moore fan, but let's talk about your Packs and Dolphins real quick. I don't know if we've got anything else. We kind of briefly did speak about that, but yeah, talk to me about the Pack Hammer. You really think we got a
Go
chance here,
Pack
or
go. Yes, I
what?
do. I do now. The game was kind of fluky. After that first half, we were getting barbecued. I thought Tua was going to have like 500 passing yards, but we held it together. Aaron didn't really blink. He's throwing interceptions that I just don't understand that he never throws. That's what's driving me nuts. But somehow, some way, he got his shit together. Two key takeaways from a fantasy perspective that I saw from this game. Obviously, number one, Christian Watson had a really good first half and just didn't play. He had a hip injury, so he's day to day. But it looks like he'll be able to play next week. But keep an eye on that because Christian Watson has been a hot pickup, and he's definitely going to be in your lineup if he's a wide receiver 3 flex, whatever the case may be. But Aaron Jones was kind of a no-show in this game, which really...
He got hurt, though, right?
No, he had a knee injury coming into the game, I believe, but there was nothing to indicate that he was going to be limited or anything. So it was really the A.J. Dillon show. I think A.J. Dillon had 2 touchdowns.
I think he tweaked it in the game or something like that, they said, because then Dillon started getting all the work.
Right. So that's something to monitor. If you had Jones and Dillon, obviously you're going to play Jones before you play Dillon, and that probably fucked you. But overall, not a great offensive game from the Packers, but somehow they got it done. From the Miami standpoint, it was Tyreek and it was Jalen Waddle and everybody else. I know Jeff Wilson had the touchdown as well, but he's kind of splitting carries there with Mostert. They only ran it 17 times, and it was basically an even split. But Tua, Jesus, 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter. That's rough. But it wasn't a pretty game in the second half. But the Packers got it done, and they got a shot here. So I'm like I said, they're playing meaningful games in January. I can't be upset at this point.
Tua was apparently garbage after the in play where they think he got the concussion. We'll have to monitor that, of course, going forward. But I wouldn't be. Teddy B's got to be playing this week.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know if they're rolling Tua out there, but Teddy B can get it done too. And this is not an offense that was relying on over the top necessarily deep passes. Teddy, when he came in before, played decent. No.
Yeah, he was okay, but I think he got hurt in that game as well.
Yeah, he did. But he can get the ball to the guys at least. Just got to get that run after catch. But we saw the Rams just go crazy on the Broncos, which was kind of crazy because the Broncos D's been solid.
And they got the coach fired.
The Broncos D. Sorry, I don't think anybody saw this coming, and I think we did pick the Broncos D in maybe a question or two in one of these, but they absolutely had the best matchup.
100%.
The cookie just did not crumble your way. So if you did pick the Broncos D,
my bad.
My bad. And I wouldn't tell you to do something I wouldn't do personally. So if I was in a position where I needed a defense and Broncos was there, I would absolutely take the Broncos and then been, squashed. But it is what it is. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Of course, we appreciate y'all. We've got the Tua card winner goes to Simp. So Simp, I know you're not out there tonight, but I'll catch you next time. Next time you're on, send you that card. Other than that, stay tuned. You got anything else you want to throw out there, Hammer?
Solid, bro.
All right,
Win that shit.
we out. Go win that ship.
Go
We'll
pack,
see
go.
y'all on. We'll see y'all on Friday. The pack. Goal, baby.